All right, everyone. We are in week 4 of interpersonal communication. I hope you had a great weekend. Last week, we looked at language as a symbolic system. That language and symbols are how we create meaning in interpersonal communication, and it's essential for interpersonal communication, right? But also that meanings can be a little bit slippery. Meanings can depend on your culture, right? And sometimes those meanings don't translate very well across cultures. Similar theme this week as we look at nonverbal communication, right? Which is also symbolic. It's also very culturally dependent, right? And the meaning of our nonverbal communication is often just as important in interpersonal communication, right? One of the reasons why I'm using a different setting right now is just to make some points about some of the videos that I make for the class and nonverbal communication when we're making videos. Kind of a segue between last week's discussion topic where you were kind of talking about nonverbal communication in some of those posts, right? In terms of, technology sometimes doesn't allow us to communicate nonverbally, right? And, we can make up for that by making videos, but it's still important to think about, different aspects of the video. For instance, I changed the setting. You can see my setting that I usually use. That's our living room, right? Right now I'm in the office, a little bit less formal. Usually I take a lot of time not a lot of time, but some time to, get dressed up. I wear, collared shirt. I put a sport coat on, try to look as professional as possible. I have the computer on a stand that makes it so that I'm at eye level. It's a little bit different when the video is, when you have it looking at the ceiling or something. What if I were to say, be wearing a t-shirt like this? Does this change the meaning of what I'm saying? Makes it look a little less formal, right? It's also meaningful. The position of your face on the screen can be meaningful. I've been in meetings with others who are kind of like this, right? Camera's staring at the ceiling and they're down there like this. Or this is what I call the zombie. People who make videos or talk online like this, right? It can make a difference. It transmits meaning, right? So does it look different, say, if I'm slouching, right? Men tend to slouch sometimes inadvertently because we have our weight distributed to the upper part of our body, so sitting up straight is actually kind of tiring. So when we relax, we tend to do this, right? But what does that communicate in terms of my engagement with students in the class, right? Or my engagement with the course in general, right? It communicates something different. I think we're all kind of aware of that. So I'm aware of that when I'm making course videos. In your discussion this week, you have a fairly wide latitude in terms of what kind of setting you talk about for the discussion and for nonverbal communication. For your critical thinking assignment, you have a critical thinking assignment this week. It should be pretty fun. You have option number 1, you're actually going to do a little bit of primary research. And by primary research, we mean that you're the one collecting the data rather than reading it in a journal or in a peer-reviewed journal, right? So find a location where you can simply watch people and watch people's interpersonal communication and take some notes on that, okay, and extrapolate that on that. Now, you still have to use peer-reviewed journal articles, so be careful to use at least 3 of those, and I would suggest doing the research first before doing that primary observation in a social setting, okay? Find some articles in nonverbal communication in social settings or something like that, and do the research first and have fun with that, okay? If you do option 1 for the critical thinking assignment. As usual, if you have any problems, please contact me. If you have any questions about the critical thinking assignment or anything, I can be available, all right? I love talking to students, so please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. And you all have a great week.